I'm Helen.
I'm Miss Sinclair.
And I'm Edison. Y'all better grab your extra large popcorn. We are in the thick of things with great films.
I am open and positive.
I don't like it.
Let's throw on these boxer gloves.
Let's do it.
Let's fucking do it.
Welcome to Talk Movie to Me, a weekly podcast where we do a deep dive on a new release that's just hit theaters or streaming. I'm Helen.
I'm Miss Sinclair.
And I'm Edison, and we are quite far along on the road to the Oscars. The 96th Annual Academy Awards are coming up on Sunday, March 10th, and all season on Talk Movie to Me, we've had you covered by featuring the films that are going for gold on the big night. Films that have been profoundly moving and impactful, complex stories that have challenged us to reflect on life's biggest questions, performances that pierce through the noise and hit us right in the guts with their raw, vulnerable authenticity. This episode, we're doing a double feature of films that are profoundly something and that challenged us in perhaps other ways. You know, there are bumps along every road, and the two bumps this episode are J-Lo's passion project, This Is Me, ellipses now, and Jason Statham's latest, The Beekeeper. Helen, take it away.
Okay. Here
We're all
I
drinking.
go. We're all drinking, yes. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to get a glimpse into JLo's dreamscape? Or perhaps sit
Yes.
on her therapy session?
Absolutely.
Or maybe you're asking yourself, I wonder if there's a Zodiac council in space watching over JLo and playing matchmaker trying to devise the best love connection. Oh, you're not wondering that? Of course you're not, because that's insane and nobody asked for this. Our first film is This Is Me Now, a truly confounding property that serves as a companion piece to Jennifer Lopez's 9th studio album of the same name. This 65-minute head-scratcher contains many a cameo, including Jane Fonda, Fat Joe, Post Malone, Jennifer Lewis, and kind of Ben Affleck. This Is Me Now asks the question, who on earth is this for?
It's for J-Lo.
It's for JLo.
That's for sure.
And JLo alone.
And Edison.
Or Edison,
And
apparently,
Edison.
I guess.
And we can blame Edison for having to talk about this one on the podcast.
Well, we'll be
because-
blaming you for the next one.
Yeah, we're here to support you. So why don't you start, Edison? I feel like you liked this.
Honestly, a lot of this film really worked for me.
What?
Wow. Wow.
I don't know that I would go as so far as to say that I loved it. It's not going to be like effusive praise, but I'll tell you, I appreciated it. I found it creative and unabashedly ambitious and sincere, and honestly, kind of fearless.
Wow.
Sincere?
Sincere.
Yes.
That,
I think it's sincere. It's totally absurd, but also it's an hour in length. And it's this sort of like movie music video hybrid thing. It's designed for streaming. It's future forward. It's just J-Lo trying to express herself. And I'm here for it. I actually do want to sit on her Jedi astrological council.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. We are your friends. We support you. We appreciate you. We value your opinion.
Okay, first of all, let's give the story, the plot. So
There's no, well, there. Okay, so it's like JLo is JLo, and
She's also known as the artist.
yeah.
and it starts off with this story of a hummingbird and a flower, true
Oh my
love
God, I
or
love that.
something.
I really wanted the hummingbird Taru to come for me too.
And then it's really just her. You know, the entire movie is her going through different relationships and not having a successful love, and saying that the only thing she wanted to be when she grew up was in love. And it's interspersed with songs for her new album that do then become like a music video. But she's also having therapy sessions with her therapist, Fat Joe. And there is literally an astrological council who is in space talking about her and who she should be with. And
Because
it's
the
like,
world does revolve around
yeah.
Jennifer Lopez. Yeah.
And it's like futuristic and really just bizarre. That's it. That is the what it is.
Oh my God, is that not enough? That's amazing.
Oh, it's enough. I can definitely say that. Okay. How do I don't know. I'm trying to be nice. I think I'm trying to be nice.
Oh, Sinclair, that ship sailed long ago, honey. We're on episode 198.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the scenes where there's acting involved, where there's dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Watching this made me feel like she's a hack.
Stop it.
No, it did. It did.
Then you don't understand her.
Listening to the writing and watching this, it felt like it was stuck in the 2000s still. It made me feel bad. It actually made me feel like she's unhinged and that she's a bit of a hack with how this was written.
Okay.
I mean, I couldn't help but feel like it was just incredibly narcissistic.
Yeah.
And I really did. I'm like, who is this for? Who wants this?
JLo has been famous for literally 30 years. Mm-hmm. She has been an actual superstar, a movie star, a TV star, a music pop star, a fashion star, a business empire. She's literally dominated every single element of media, everything that she possibly could. She's a woman in her 50s, is also dominated social media somehow. So how is this any different than a Taylor Swift album that's written all about her relationships, or an Adele album that's all about her and her journey and through motherhood or her relationships, or anything else? It's just JLo expressing herself.
Yeah. So two things. One, Adele is more talented.
That is subjective.
Two, Taylor Swift is more relevant in terms of her love life. If Taylor Swift had made this, people would be going crazy for this. I don't think anybody is concerned about Jennifer Lopez's love life the way they were when Bennifer was going on. I don't think people are as interested. So Adele more talent, Taylor Swift more relevant.
I disagree.
But I also just think that like it's not an album, it's a movie.
So then it's even more creative. So basically she released like a visual album. That's kind of cool.
Well,
like Beyonce
Edison,
did that cool.
It looked bad for one. The music
wow, I
wasn't
totally disagree
good.
with that.
It looked bad. The songs weren't good. The acting was terrible. The dialogue was terrible. I mean, it wasn't good. This is the problem. It's not about Jennifer Lopez not being able to express herself. She certainly can. But this was the cringe fest of the year. This was cringy, and I have no idea as a woman what this is saying. Like, what is this saying to us as women?
This is like the really embarrassing conversations that you have with your friends that the next morning you text and you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I just like spewed that all on you. Like it was so personal. And they're like, girl, that's what we're here for. But instead she like took $20 million of her own money and decided to make it into a movie. Like it's just like, no one needs to see this. It's not introspective. It's not enlightened. It's not insightful. It's just like, it's embarrassing. I found it embarrassing.
This has nothing to say other than JLo going, watch me, watch me. Like this isn't here to do anything except be a platform for a narcissist. That's all this is.
I absolutely fundamentally disagree with that.
Interesting.
I also found that to be refreshing. I don't the fact that it wasn't trying to be prestige or auteur or trying to be whatever. It's not pretentious in any capacity. This film is a resort collection. It's not trying to be haute couture, and it knows that. And JLo wanted that Oscar. She wanted the nomination for Hustlers. And instead of taking her considerable influence and capital and trying to make something super deep and profound and chase that gold statue, instead she said, fuck that, I'm just going to do me. This is me. The two core elements of 30 years of JLo's fame
This is me now.
Has been basically romantic, hustler. That's it. She works harder than anybody and she loves love. These are the core elements of her brand, of her identity, of how she sees herself. And why the hell can't she express that? What it
She
says
can,
about
and she
womanhood.
did.
I don't know that she's trying to express anything specifically about what it means to be a woman. It's not that deep. She's telling her own story, and you can take from it what you want to. And I wish more people were courageous enough to do it.
We did, and it's
what
not
we
that
took
deep.
was secondhand embarrassment, I think.
Yeah, it yeah.
Did you okay, Edison, though? Did you
Yeah,
actually
you're
like this, or are you
trolling
just
us,
playing?
Edison. Come
Are you just
on.
playing devil's advocate?
I thought this film was really fucking fun, and I actually appreciated. I know that you're gonna literally guffaw at this, but the like lack of vanity.
What?
To
The
put
lack
out-
of vanity?
Vanity.
Okay, wait. To put out something so unwieldy and experimental and literally absurd, knowing that truly a lot of people are not going to get it, it's not going to make sense, they're going to pick it apart, and for her to say, I don't give a shit, I'm going to tell
What's
the
to
story I
get?
want to. I appreciate that, especially
No.
from somebody who's been so calculated about her public image for so long. This is also calculated, but it's in a
This is the problem. All she does is put out crap. When I was watching this, I was thinking, good God, I wish they had just nominated her for Hustlers, because we wouldn't be sitting through this right now. They should have just
Why?
given the Oscar nomination. She deserved it. She deserved it for that. And I feel like this is just that she's completely unhinged.
I know. No,
She
it really did feel to me
Yeah.
like this is what happens when somebody has too much power and money.
Yeah, and a lot of yes people
Because-
around them.
Because nobody wanted to make this. That's why she self-funded it. Like, that's
And
when you know, like, ooh,
all
you're
I
in
can
dangerous
think
territory.
about is what Ben Affleck said to her while she was making this, and after. He would be, wow, honey, that was really good.
He is
Okay.
obsessed with her, and he would say, I love you for like doing you, because he knows who she is as a person.
I think that what's really depressing about this for me personally was at the end when she kind of does find her happy ending. It's with Ben Affleck.
I know.
Divorced
dog.
with kids, pig dog, gambling addict, cynical about life, jaded Ben Affleck. Like that's the end to this story. Like, what are we supposed to take from this?
You know when you see someone evolve and you're like, oh my God, you're older and wiser? It's like
I
she
know.
devolved. Like she went
She's
back.
55.
Yeah. And that's, I think, what makes this feel so embarrassing and sad is it's like you haven't evolved at all. Like you're the same person.
And the style is still in the 2000s, the early 2000s. That's what I mean, where I was watching this feeling so awful, because I was like, it feels like she's a hack now. And that makes me sad. I like Jennifer Lopez, but this is...
But two things, the style of the early 2000s is back again. And secondly, this is referencing This Is Me Then.
It's back
Which
if you're
was 20 years
20,
ago.
Edison. It's back if you're 20.
Oh, so now you're age shaming her? Also, I'm sorry, visually, like, are you really going to say that this movie was shit? Like, there were some really cool things there. The whole sequence and dance sequence.
I will say I appreciated some of the choreography. I did.
choreography was
I
fucking
think
cool.
which would have been way better if these were just music videos just
Yeah.
on their own without
Yeah.
these like poorly written and acted
I know.
vignettes in between. That's what I think the actual problem is. If she just put out some of these as music videos, I wouldn't even think twice about it. Well, I definitely probably wouldn't even see them.
Yeah,
But,
that's true.
You know, it's the problem
so then
is
isn't
the
that
vignettes.
smart of her to then say, here's an opportunity for other people to see it?
Not if everyone's gonna shit on it.
Like we do a podcast. We talk about things. We watch everything. We just watch everything. And that's why we're doing this right now. I would not have watched this. Then again, maybe I would have. It might be a good drunk watch, to be honest.
I'm not gonna pretend I wasn't entertained. I was just
Exactly.
entertained in the way that not in the way she intended.
I know, but that's what
I was
it
entertained
is.
because I was so uncomfortable.
Because it doesn't feel like you're laughing with her. It doesn't.
No.
It does not feel like that at all. When you say this is sincere, yeah, it actually kind of is, and that's the problem.
But I don't think that is the problem. I think that that's actually
well,
the
no,
truth
there's
of
way more
this.
problems than just that. Like the whole thing's a problem.
Sorry, so J-Lo's the narcissist? Yeah, duh. Are you seriously, like, every single person who's been that level of fame for 3 decades, of course they're a narcissist.
Edison,
she's a literal empire. We are never meant to understand and know what it's like to be J-Lo. We are plebeians. She is a goddess, like this whole other thing.
Then how are we supposed to take this seriously as something relatable in terms of love and relationships? We have had to watch Jennifer Lopez play a down and out fuddy-duddy
I find this way more relatable than that.
The best part in this movie is when she's like, I think I'm going to just go take the bus. She's going to go take the bus. Like, she's been trying to sell this idea that she is Jenny from the block, unlucky in love for decades.
She's not actually exploring any of this. It's going like it really feels like the equivalent of like a high school girl giving you her diary and being like, this is art. It's not. It's just not.
It's
well,
not.
I disagree. And
Okay.
I thought it was art, and I thought it was a really interesting way of synthesizing the things that she's good at in a unique way.
I agree with you in terms of she's a great dancer, and I think she actually is a really good performer. This doesn't do her any favors to prove that. It does not.
Yeah. It makes her look stupid.
It does. It
makes her look like a stupid woman who only cares about having a boyfriend. Like, unfortunately, that's
and it
just makes her
actually
look dumb.
insults us as women watching it. It's like, this is all you have to say.
Yeah.
You want to grow up and be in love. This is where we've come in 2024, J-Lo. This is what we have to see.
No,
as women.
I know. I have a few things to say about this in a sort of positive way. There was a reference to Vanderpump Rules that I really appreciated. Paul Raci was in this, which actually made me sad for him. But it was nice to see him because I haven't seen him since Sound of Metal, and he got that supporting actor nomination. I thought he was incredible in that movie. And then when I saw him in this, I was like, oh, I'm so sorry that you had to do this, but it's nice to see you. And the third thing that made me happy was actually going on Letterboxd afterwards and reading people's reviews because they were fucking hilarious. And I highly recommend doing that if you want a good laugh.
Yeah. Edison, you're on Letterboxd now. You could go write something positive there about it.
Yeah, go for it. I mean,
I will not be liking your review at all.
Okay, well, so you heard it here. We had some divergence in the Force. What on earth will our Jedi Astrological Council say about this?
Hi friends, I'm Angie and I'm the host of the Honey Lemon podcast. Join me every other week as I dive into those sweet and sour experiences that make us who we are. I have some incredible guests and some great solo chats that will go great with a hot bev and a cozy blanket. When you're not listening to Helen, Miss Sinclair, and Edison talk movies, hop on over to wherever you get your podcasts. In the meantime, be well, be loved. See you soon.
Adam Clay is living a peaceful life as a beekeeper on a remote farm in Massachusetts. He enjoys the quiet life, tending to his bees and making honey for his kind-hearted landlady, Eloise. He minds his own business, one might say. Oh, God, I need more to drink. But life doesn't stay as sweet as honey. Eloise falls victim to a phishing scam, and within minutes, her life savings and charity money fall into the hands of a network of nefarious scammers. With more than $2 million lost, Eloise feels helpless and sadly commits suicide. In an act of vengeance, Adam Clay calls a few friends and colleagues from his past. See, Adam Clay isn't your ordinary beekeeper. He's a former member of the Beekeepers, a secret group of killing machines who aren't afraid to kick the hornet's nest. And Adam Clay won't hesitate to use his stinger. He locates the building in which the scammers conduct their crimes and, well, let's just say he uses fire to smoke out the hornets. After he burns that motherfucker down, he has more than a few people after him, because these scammers are only the worker bees of an even bigger nest. Adam Clay is going after the queen bee, because at some point you have to ask yourself whether you work for the law or you work for justice. And Adam Clay, he works for justice.
Yeah.
Directed by David Ayer and starring Jason Statham, The Beekeeper asks, to be or not to be? That is the question.
And there were nearly as many bee analogies in that.
That one, it was actually in it, to be or not to be.
Yes, and
that was
I
in it.
cackled.
Of course it was. There were none that weren't.
Yeah.
No, every single one that could be
Alarming.
thought of. Yeah, is in
Yeah.
this.
Wow. I think to not to be is the answer.
Yeah. Yeah. Or
Okay,
have
what-
someone to be for you, you know? I'd
Yeah.
like
What did we
Jason
think of
Statham to
this
do
film?
that.
You know, this movie is interesting. I hated it for the first half, and then by the second half I was like, you know what? This is kind of wild. And I'm kind of into it. It won me a little bit. I have to be honest. Like, by no means is this a good movie, but I think it knows it's not a good movie.
Yes,
And
unlike the Jennifer Lopez movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have issues with it, of course, but by the end I was kind of like, you know what? That was a wild ride that I'm okay that I was on.
I felt like I had a similar trajectory. I actually went into this movie really ready for it.
Oh, okay.
We've all known people who have been screwed over by these scams. I actually was really fully ready. I wanted to love this. I wanted to revel in the utter destruction of these fuckers. I wanted that. I was here for it. And actually the first 25 minutes of this, that felt like its own kind of movie when he gets the major revenge moment.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. And then it continued on, and I was like, this is absolute garbage. But then by the end it turned into a almost like Sharknado. I enjoyed it in the same way that I enjoyed Sharknado. This is absolute garbage.
Yeah.
But it's so outrageous that I can find the joy in that.
But it knows that it's you like to think that your shit don't stink. It knows its shit stinks, and it is, and that makes it work.
It
Yeah.
really does.
It knows that the garbage stinks.
Deeply.
Yeah, I can see why people like this and will feel some sort of cathartic moments.
I
with-
did not
with
feel
this.
cathartic moments with this, but go on. Sorry.
I think that there definitely should have been more, but I mean, this is something that we are dealing with right now. This is very timely, and we love revenge films because it helps us work through feelings of being helpless. I think that's kind of the power of these movies. That's why revenge movies do so well. There feels like there isn't any justice, especially with scamming right now and the elderly being affected. And the sad truth is that they actually don't get any help from anybody.
Yeah.
No.
They truly don't. There isn't any justice for it at all. The banks don't do anything. Nobody can do anything about it. And I think that you want to see Jason Statham kick the shit out of these people. It's the same
Yes.
reason you like to watch, YouTube videos of hackers hacking hackers. You know what I mean? You like to see them
But
being
at least
punished.
that-
I will state for the record, you are the only one of the three of us who's ever watched that.
I actually haven't watched that, but videos exist where hackers will basically hack the scammers They'll answer the phone
yeah,
and
would be
they'll go
super
through.
satisfying.
Yeah.
I think though what's interesting with that concept, like yes, it's relevant and you would like there to be revenge for that, but I think what didn't work in that context for me in this movie is that, as far as I know, and all of the like things that I've listened to about these phone scams, it's not like a conglomerate in the United States of like bros.
I know.
Like it's in other countries, like this is not happening. It doesn't happen like this. Like there's a whole other like political and social story to the people that get roped into doing this as well. It's not just a bunch of like greedy douchebags. So seeing, I was kind of like, oh, okay, well that's not how this happens. Yeah. But this movie's not trying to be realistic.
But the truth is, I don't know. I think like it depends on the scam is the truth. Look at that guy from Ontario, the young kid who was making literally millions of dollars. He was in his 20s, but doing these exact types of scams. Exactly. I swear that's who some of these characters were modeled after. So it does exist for a specific type of scam. It might not be the like social security ones or whatever, but it's like this type of one that's a little bit more crypto and a little bit more get you involved in that way. The person in my life who I know who was scammed in this capacity was like roped along through a really, really elaborate process. A long con that involved like facial recognition software and all of this stuff. It was a very elaborate. It wasn't just some call center in Nigeria trying to, suss this out. That is a huge chunk for sure.
Right. Yeah. That's fair. Okay.
Well, I think that this just happens really fast at the beginning, and he seeks revenge, and then suddenly the movie is over there and it has to go into a bigger picture. Like it has to keep going.
Okay, so one thing I did find hilarious though is like,
where does it go after that, right?
And,
like the ending is near the beginning, right?
That it was gonna go to where it went,
the president.
It like suddenly it has to get bigger and bigger and bigger and have this like political agenda and all this stuff. But can we just like talk about the beginning really quickly, because we don't actually get to see like how Jason Statham becomes a beekeeper on this,
not the like soldier beekeeper, but like an actual beekeeper.
But on this woman's farm, and then after this happens, and the daughter comes in, and she's like, "Who are you?" It's like, why wouldn't the daughter, who's a cop, know about this strange, huge CIA like man that's a beekeeper on her mom's property? Like, she's like, who are you?
Not only is she a cop, she works for the FBI.
She works for the FBI. Like,
also, you're going to walk in and see that your mother just killed herself.
I know.
And not a shred of emotion.
I
like,
know.
I'm sorry, but the daughter is a psychopath. And, like, Emmy River Lampman plays the cop, Agent Verona. She's from Umbrella Academy. She's great in that show. But that was, like, the most terrible. I was just like, could we have a moment for this innocent older lady who just shot herself in the head
no time
immediately?
Gotta move on.
Why would she kill herself so quickly? Like, this old lady has a gun. It was just, I had a lot of questions.
This is what I'll say about the beginning of this movie. You know that quote, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line?
Right.
That is this beginning of this movie.
Yeah,
it goes
so
beat to beat to beat to beat. They waste no fucking time. They get to the end of the movie about 20 minutes in, and then they have to make another movie.
Well, that's the thing, is like normally when he gets to the building of the company that's doing this, and he burns it to the ground, that should be the ending. Really, we're used to that kind of being the end point. But it's also
bigger than that, Sinclair.
There's also a line where Jason Statham is saying to the woman's daughter, he goes, "Stealing from an elderly person is like stealing from a child. In some ways, it's worse. When someone hurts a child, there are people who care. Parents step in. When someone hurts an older person, they're often left to face the hornets alone." Like, he's saying this to her daughter.
Who works with the FBI.
Who works with that? Like,
he's literally shaming her.
Like, at that
you
point, like, you
your
think
mother.
she would be like, hello, I'm right here.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, I let this happen. Like, well, children have people who care about them.
Yeah.
I was
Unlike your
wow.
mother.
Unlike you not caring for your mother at all.
Yeah.
One of you sent a text message in our group when you were watching this that said this was definitely written by AI.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was hell,
I died because it, like, if ever
Yeah.
there were a script of a film that I watched in the last year or so that I was like, oh, definitely AI wrote this. It's
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, it did feel like an AI script.
I
really
cannot
did.
get over how blatantly this film has to explain the bee metaphor.
Oh yeah, it
It
does
is
not
explained
waste a single
over
pun.
and over and over again.
3,000 times.
They had to just spell it out.
I know.
BEE.
Yeah.
Over and over.
Constantly.
Honestly.
To the point where at the end of the movie, when he breaks the window and jumps out, I was like, can he turn into a bee and fly away? That'd be the best ending.
No, but the very last shot was literally a bee zooming across the screen, though.
I know, but I wanted him to become a bee.
He went full bee. We wanted him to go full bee.
He might
Yeah,
have.
full bee.
He was an underwater bee. Oh my god.
What did we think of Mr. Statham in this movie?
Fantastic. Best part.
Do you know what's so funny? He is an example of an actor who I like him as an action star. I don't understand the appeal. I don't know why he's attractive. How is he married to Rosie Huntington-Whiteley? Like, I don't get it.
I get it. I get it. Jason Statham's cool. And he has a great energy. He has a great accent. He actually does look like he could kick people's asses.
I do believe that, yes.
Mm-hmm. He's a bit
like
cardboard to me.
Yeah, but most action stars
He's a bit wooden, like a bit like
but
a cardboard cutout.
That's the action star. Like, if you watch
Yeah.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, you're like,
Yeah, but that ass.
Yeah, he has the ass, but like he doesn't have a lot of charisma.
Yeah.
You know?
Who needs it?
There's one point where Jason Statham, the one guy goes to him, I'm going to count to 3. And he goes, 1, 2, 3. There, I did it for you.
I know. So good. I actually really enjoyed Josh Hutcherson in this movie doing his best Kieran Culkin in Succession.
Yeah.
I actually thought it was genuinely a good performance.
Yeah.
The way that he just kept saying, how am I in any way responsible for any of this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I can't think of a single character in a film I've seen last year that I wanted to just smack the shit out of more than him.
Mm-hmm. Just a petulant child.
Oh.
Petulant rich boy.
Yeah, but he was actually good.
I
agree with
genuinely
that.
enjoyed watching him.
That's true. Yeah. Okay, so what do we think at the end of it all? Is this film the bee's knees?
Honestly, I wouldn't not watch this again.
Yeah. I wouldn't
sit down and watch it, but I would put it on in the background and laugh at certain moments.
I even told my dad that this film was too stupid to watch, and this should be right up his alley. I would not. This was not the bee's knees for me. It was fun in a way, but only once I accepted the absurdity of it all, I guess. And it could be fun. Yeah, maybe. But I think I'd have to be like really in the right mood or something.
Yeah, I mean, this is a one and done for me. I had a good time. I probably won't think about this again. I feel like if I had watched this in the early 2000s, I would have been like, yes, this is awesome.
Right.
But in a post John Wick world, like, this is an SNL sketch of John Wick.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I did see a funny Letterboxd review of this as well, saying like this feels like a fake movie that would be playing in another movie. And I was like, yeah,
but
that's
most
perfect.
of his movies do feel like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
We also forgot to say Minnie Driver looks amazing in the brief
Minnie
moments
Driver
she
looked
is
amazing
in this movie.
What a strange role.
Strange role, but she looked great.
She had 2 lines.
And
I know,
Jeremy Irons.
And Jeremy Irons,
what?
I know.
Jeremy Irons,
I know.
why?
Yeah.
It's just so fun and paycheck.
I
Can't
guess.
say no.
But like, oh.
Okay.
All right. Well, next week's episode is going to be our annual Oscar special. So we will be following up this Slumpuary episode with the best of the best, the creme de la creme, if you will. But this has been another episode of Talk Movie to Me. If you would like to get in touch with us, our email is talkmovietome@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram @talkmovietome. Rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts. And season 7 episodes are on YouTube @Talk Movie to Me Podcast. I'm Helen.
I'm Miss Sinclair.
And I'm Edison. Thanks.